So
Yes, sir.
how many teams are going to present the case today?
Sir, we have shortlisted six.
Six. Okay.
Yeah, nine. Actually, one was a duplication.
Okay.
One part had sent twice, so
Okay.
that reduced the number to eight, and two were rejected by us. Before
Okay.
that,
So
also rejected.
okay.
Finally,
Okay, how many out of nine, or so how many out of six will go on to join the internship program with Pratham? Two or three?
so that
Okay.
depends upon the quality and the decision that is all yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Dear ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. How different this afternoon feels today as we will find the colors of case study competition unfold. With the galaxy of intellectuals, invited guests, teachers, and my friends, I am Yogita Thakur, and today we have gathered to witness the show of talent through the case study competition EcoBuzz, a case study marathon by Pratham. It's better to have a thoughtful 24-hour life than a mindless 100-year one. These were wise statements said by Gautam Buddha. Practicing mindfulness is paying attention to the here and now with non-judgmental acceptance. Do we really need a reminder from Uguay in Kung Fu Panda on the power of present? These days, everyone is so busy trying to reach somewhere that they forget to enjoy the simple act of being. Globalization and the rapid advancement of technology have thrusted us into social, economic, and environmental crisis of historic proportion. However, the same forces are opening up many doors for human progress. Today's students are tomorrow's young adults. Their education helps them becoming ready for the career that haven't been imagined yet, for the use of technology that haven't been yet conceived of, and tackling of issues that no one could have ever imagined. And this requires mindful learning. Mindfulness is about having a better understanding of oneself, increased emotional regulation skills, a richer understanding of one's human connection of others for resolving one's own personal and societal problems. Before we start, let us put our hands together for the sponsors. Pratham, a collaborator. Pratham is a forward thinking institution of higher education with the mission of enhancing the standards of education in India. Pratham was founded in 1995 to provide education for children living in the slums of Bombay. But its reach has now expanded to include young people all throughout India. Pratham is one of the biggest NGO in the nation, and it works to fill in the cracks with the education system by implementing initiatives that are effective, affordable, and easy to replicate. Pratham's initiatives touch the lives of millions of people every year through their work with children and young people and their extensive partnership with the government system. The teaching at the right level methodology developed by Pratham is currently being used in setting outside of India due to its shown effectiveness in improving students' academic achievement. It's an honor for us to have with us Mr. Kalimuddin from Pratham.
Thank you.
Sir, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you for giving such a detailed introduction about what Pratham does across India. I will give a very brief introduction of Pratham in context of Madhya Pradesh. So, in Madhya Pradesh, Pratham became active in the year 2005, and since then it has launched multiple programs targeting various groups of children. In the current scenario, we have a partnership program. We call it a partnership program because we have partnered with the state government. I mean the Rajya Shiksha Kendra for primary school children. So basically, it's a rural program wherein we support Rajya Shiksha Kendra with their teaching programs for primary grade teachers, and further we also provide them academic support in the two districts, Panna and Tikamgarh. So we have a team of around 120 people, which is based in Panna and Tikamgarh. The team collaborates with the cluster academic coordinators, wherein they help the cluster academic coordinators prepare monitoring plans and decide their visit plans. Apart from that, we also help them with assessments, and we visit schools along with them, and suggest them the best possible ways to improve learning in classrooms. In addition to the government partnership program, we also have a second chance program, which is basically a high school program, wherein we enroll high school dropouts, uh, uh, predominantly women, who have dropped out of high school because of some personal reasons. We bring them to our program. We enroll them to the foundational classes so that they can mitigate the gap which has occurred. So the second chance program is based in Panna. The second chance program is based in Khargon, Satna, and Sihor. And through that program, every year we enroll around 300 plus women and help them with the high school content. And subsequently, we help them appear in the final examinations. The third program is our final program, which is based in Hoshangabad. It's an inclusive program. Basically, it's more like a Read India program where we follow the approach called Kamal. So the fundamental to Kamal approach is that initially we conduct assessments on children, and then we group children on the basis of their learning levels, rather than by grades wherein they are enrolled. So after conducting assessment, we group children on the basis of their learning levels, and after that we conduct classes and we conduct activities with every group. We give them teaching learning material, and we try to help them move one level up, so that at the end of the learning camps, it's a 30-day learning camps. So at the end of the learning camps, we try to ensure that children who are at beginner level or word level can read a paragraph or a story at the end of the program, or at the end of the learning camp. So these are the three major programs which are being conducted in Madhya Pradesh. Can I also discuss the case?
Yes, sir, that will be very good. That will give a perspective for our friends.
Okay. So in today's session, the case will be the Asar report. We have shared the Asar reports of 2018 and 2022. So let me give you a very brief idea of what exactly Asar is. So Asar is an annual citizen-led household survey that aims to understand whether the children children are able to read, or they are able to do the basic arithmetic operations. It has been conducted since 2005. It has been conducted every year, but since 2014 we are conducting it every alternate year. So the basic idea of Asar is to see whether children can read, how many children are being able to read, how many children are being able to do basic arithmetic operations, and we also take a look at the school facilities, enrollment patterns, tuition trains, and school facilities and RT indicators. So like every year, this year also we have conducted the normal Asar. As usual, the normal Asar is conducted across all 50 districts of Madhya Pradesh. This year we have surveyed around 1,500 villages, and around 30,000 households. So the idea here is to compare the two ASER reports, the ASER report of 2018 and 2022. So I hope the participants have prepared a presentation wherein they will be showcasing the comparison between the two reports. Uh, can we invite the participants to present the case?
Yes, sir. With your permission, let's, before inviting, give them some points to remember. Before stepping into the shoe of EcoBuzz, we want to have a gentle reminder to all the participants. First, winners will be announced shortly after the conclusion of the event. Second, the decision of the judges will be final and binding. Third, apart from the prize money, the winning team will also be eligible to get an internship with Pratham Foundation. Fourth, all decisions pertaining to eligibility, authenticity, and the final judgment will be with the organizing team. Fifth, participants should be on their best behavior during the event and should follow basic etiquette while interacting with the event organizers. Sixth, at last 3 minutes and 1 minute, you will be given a buzzer reminder. Now, some of the reminders how to present. First, the team will be allotted 10 minutes to present their case solutions, following by a 5-minute question and answer session with the judges. Second, evaluation criteria will be based on the analysis of the case, the quality of the content, and articulation, as well as time management. Let me introduce with you all how the marking scheme will be look like. First, for every participant, there will be 100 ERU coins in their pocket for participation. In addition to the participation points, all the following will be given. To the winners, 100 ERU coins will be given. To the first runner-up, 75 ERU coins will be given. And to the second runner-up, 50 ERU coins will be given. Indeed, I can sense that everyone's heart rate has increased as they prepare to go headfirst into their case study preparation. So, without any further ado, let's get started. The first participants are Adwaita Singh and Nikita Idnani. Do we have them over here? Adwaita Singh and Nikita Idnani. It looks like for some reason they are not present right now. So we will move to next participant, Ankit Trivedi. Let us start with the Anushka Sharma and Eshna Agrawal. Are they here?
Yes, we are here.
Yes.
Shall we start? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Can everyone else? Wait just a second. Let me put on my camera. Okay. So, ASER stands for the Annual Status of Education Report. In our today's presentation, we will be answering the 3 questions that were required of us to answer within the case study. Me and my partner will be talking about each slide in detail. Ishna, please proceed.
Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you to our case study presentation. So the first question talks about the comparative analysis of the key findings. You wanted us to look at the areas of improvement, stagnation, and lack of progress. We have tried to cover all the aspects in our presentation, and we hope you get the answers required.
Okay, so we will start with ASER 2018. It covered over 596 rural districts across India and found that 73% of children aged between 14 and 18 years old could only read simple sentences in their native language, while only 50% could read English sentences. In terms of arithmetic, 44% of children in class 8 could correctly do division, while 27% could not even do basic subtraction. Moreover, the percentage of children attending government schools has decreased to 65.6% from 71.8% in 2010. Education enrollment has also increased to 97.2% from 96.7%. The number of girls not attending school has dropped significantly from 10.7% to 4.1%. Now, Ishna will go over 2022 statistics.
So on the other hand, ASER 2022, which surveyed a smaller group, which was 30 states and union territories, found that 59.2% of children in grades 1 to 5 could read at least at grade level compared to 53% in 2018, which was a significant improvement. However, only 25.6% of children in grade 8 could read at grade level or above, which was a decrease from 27.2% in 2018. In mathematics, 37.2% of children in grades 1 to 5 could do subtraction, which was an increase from 21.7% in 2018. However, the percentage of children in grade 8 who could do division had decreased from 44.2% in 2018 to 36.4% in 2020. The total number of students enrolled in school increased from 98.4%. Number of girls not enrolled further decreased to 2%. These were the key findings of ASER 2022.
Now, from both of the 2018 and 2022, we can see that there is a clear improvement. So now we will proceed to talk about where exactly that improvement is found. First of all, reading. ASER 2022 showed an improvement in reading levels for children in grades 1 to 5. This suggests that efforts to improve reading skills in early grades may be paying off. Mathematical skills. ASER 2022 showed an increase in the percentage of children in grades 1 to 5 who could do subtraction. This could be attributed to the focus on building foundational skills in mathematics.
Now, looking at the lack of progress, obviously there were improvements, but there were a lot of lack of progresses as well. So talking about government schools, ASER 2018 showed that the percentage of children attending government schools had decreased to 65.4% from 71% in 2010. There was no improvement in ASER 2022, which indicates a lack of progress in addressing the issue of declining enrollment in government schools. Here, we need to focus on why there is a decline in government schools and what is the reason for the switch to private schools, which are also cost heavy for the parents. Second of all, in the learning levels. While ASER 2022 showed an improvement in reading levels for children in grades 1 to 5, the percentage of children in grade 8 who could read at grade level or above had decreased from 27.2% in 2018 to 25.6% in 2022. Similarly, the percentage of children in grade 8 who could do division had also decreased from 44.2% in 2018 to 36.4% in 2022. This indicates a lack of progress in the improvement of learning levels across all grades. There were obviously improvements in some grades, but our focus is on overall development, because if there's a development in the earlier grades and not in the later grades, it is not helpful in the long run.
Now, perhaps the most concerning of all, despite there being significant changes in the method of education, there was also stagnation, which means there were no improvements. ASER 2018 showed that only 50% of children aged between 14 and 18 could read English sentences, and there was no significant improvement in ASER by 2022. ASER 2018 showed that only 44% of children in class 8 could correctly do division, and this percentage decreased to 36.4% into ASER 2022. This indicates a lack of progress in the development of higher level mathematical skills. Attendance also remained relatively safe and experienced no rises, which is concerning because attendance to begin with was already low.
Right. So by this, we conclude with the first question, but while these changes are mostly positive, tuition fees experienced a rise due to increasing inflation by 4.2%, while attendance remains relatively unchanged, averaging at 75%. For all age groups. This can be considered impressive, seeing the effect online schooling could have had on modern education, but the great increase in tuition fees is an unwelcome change.
Now, our recommendations. So English language is undoubtedly an important language in India. A lot of our development and a lot of our workplaces is done on the basis of the English language. So for English language, we believe that there is a need to intensify efforts to improve this language. So for this, our plan is to offer children more exposure to English language, to allow them to communicate with each other freely in English without putting a pressure on them, for English to become a fun activity rather than a compulsion. Because when you compel students to do things, they are likely to have a negative impact of it. However, if you make it a fun activity, if you make it a pastime for them, then they will enjoy it and they will continue to learn a language for their personal enjoyment rather than a parental compulsion. Secondly, we also plan to focus on foundational skills. There is a need to focus on building foundational skills in both reading and mathematics in early grades. This will ensure that children have a strong base to build on and are better equipped to learn more complex skills in later grades.
There are a few more recommendations that we have. So regular monitoring and evaluation when it comes to everything is a must. So learning levels, because there is no progress as such in them in overall, it is essential for us to keep tracking them and identify the areas that require improvement. This can be done through the use of standardized tests and assessments, which can provide a more accurate picture of learning levels across different regions and schools. Because, for example, if we have a different monitoring system for Madhya Pradesh and we have a different monitoring system for Maharashtra, we can't develop a good comparison between both of them. And it is important for us as a nation to have that comparison for all children of different age groups and as a student as one entity. Second of all, as a community participant, we have to develop this community that is essential for improving the quality of education. Parents and community members should be involved in school management communities and encouraged to participate in the decision-making process. This will help to ensure that the needs and concerns of the community are taken into account and addressed.
Lastly, strengthening government schools. Government schools is how a large proportion of Indian students attain their education. So for us, maintaining government schools is very important. However, attendance in government schools has decreased and so has enrollment. How do we change this? And why are government schools largely seen as ineffective in India? To change this, we need a strong education base. We need volunteers. We need students going to private school to help younger children. Because for us, development as a country matters. For us, we need to ensure that everyone in this country is educated. So we need more volunteers, we need more community work, we need more activity time, and we need to strengthen these government schools. Whether this requires funding, whether this requires charity, whether this requires alternate uses of progressive taxation, we need to do it because children are our future.
Right. Now, coming to the second question, where you asked us about suggestions and what measure would we suggest to take to group these children according to their abilities and have them on the same page, and how these practices can help in enhancing the qualitative indices of the state.
So, bringing children to the same page is important. But how exactly do we bring children to the same page? Firstly, individualized learning. Students are given personalized attention and support based on their individual learning needs. Each child grows differently. Each child has different requirements. You cannot judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. So we need to give each child individual attention and help them with their abilities. Second, remedial education. It provides additional support to students who are struggling with basic skills, helping them to catch up with their peers. They can come after school, they can do education, they can study on weekends, whatever it takes to help them be their best selves. Multilingual education. In a country like India, where children come from multilingual backgrounds, and multilingual education can be an effective way to improve learning outcomes. By providing instruction in a child's mother tongue, students can more easily understand and absorb new information. This is significant because in our country, the number of languages is endless, and each child, despite of their language, does deserve a chance at fair education and good education. Active learning. Another approach is to use active learning methods to engage students. As we previously mentioned, no one likes being forced to do something. No one likes just opening a book and sitting in front of it. Children enjoy outdoor time. Children enjoy fun. So if education can become fun, then no one can stop India from having children who are well-educated and developed individuals. Next slide, please.
So now talking about the conclusion of this question, I conclude that these practices can help in enhancing the qualitative indices of the state by improving learning outcomes and reducing dropouts. Like Anushka said, active learning plays a huge part in all of this. So when we can get students to voluntarily do everything, the learning will maximize and students will not want to drop out. And when students have access to quality education that meets their individual needs and learning styles, they're more likely to stay in school, achieve better grades, and go on to higher education and employment opportunities. This, in turn, can lead to higher levels of economic development, reduce poverty, and improve social well-being for the state and the country as a whole. So small steps can lead to bigger milestones.
Okay, lastly, we will talk about our suggestions to social media as a hindrance. Hello?
Hello.
Ishta,
Anushka,
okay. Social media as a hindrance. First of all, social media can be a digital detox, and we need to give children breaks from social media. They should not be allowed to spend all of their time on social media. While it is significantly beneficial as it makes them aware about social issues, it is not the ultimate response. Secondly, their feed needs to be filtered. They need to be educated about important social issues, definitely. But what about the inappropriate content that they get free access to on social media all the time? There needs to be some sense of parental supervision within their daily activities.
Now talking about the ways to achieve mindfulness. As our moderator for today emphasized the importance of mindfulness, incorporating mindfulness practices in educational institutes can help students to manage stress and improve their overall well-being. So here are a few of the steps. Training for teachers. The first step is to provide training for teachers on mindfulness practices so that they can incorporate these methods into their teaching methods. This training can be provided to them through workshops, seminars, or online training modules, and can be scaled up to reach more teachers over time. So because if teachers know how to be mindful, they can help students achieve this mindfulness that is very important for their educational benefit. Then talking about simple mindfulness exercises, which can also be provided to teachers. Teachers can incorporate simple mindfulness exercises such as deep breathing, visualization, and body scans into their daily routine. These exercises can be done at the beginning or end of a class or during a break and can help students to relax and focus. We've all done those morning meditations in our schools, and we all know, even though all of us despise that, we all know how much it benefited us.
Coming to the last topic of our day, to achieve mindfulness, we also need careful consideration of technology and careful learning from technology. So it's very simple, do not spend all your time on social media, do not spend all of your time on devices, use them carefully. Devices are supposed to be a privilege, not a requirement. Don't make yourself depend on devices. And we need to teach this to children very early. Ishna, the slide hasn't moved.
We're on the slide, mindful movement. Hello.
Thank you, Anushka and Ishna, for providing such a holistic perspective. We would like to have a judge to ask questions. Kaleem sir?
Yeah, definitely.
Hello. We lost
Have you heard?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Okay.
We can hear you, sir.
So, guys, did you get the model presentation that you sent to the college?
Yes, sir, we did.
Okay. So, basically, what we are trying to do, we are trying to compare the two reports on certain indicators. Okay. Number one is the learning level. Number two is the enrollment pattern. Number three, the school facilities. So I couldn't see anything as far as school facilities are concerned. And number two is that when we have data in percentage form, then it's better to use chart or graph. So bar graph could have been a very good option, and that was lacking in your presentation. So had you used bar graph to compare the two data, compare the data of those 2 years, I mean, it would have been more informative, and the audience could have liked it more. That was from my side.
We understand your feedback, sir, and we will definitely incorporate into our presentation for future competitions and future presentations. And as far as the school facilities are concerned, we did not directly address them because we could not find much of a gap in them according to our research. There might be some pointers that might be addressed by other participants, but we were not very sure about them, so that's why we could not address them.
As far as ASA report 2022 is concerned, I mean, as far as the learning levels are concerned, there is so much decline, and the only positive that comes, it comes from the school facilities. I mean, you should have highlighted that indicator as well. Overall, the articulation was very good. The pace with which you two have gone, that was commendable.
Thank you, sir. We'll be sure to remember your suggestions for next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks to the participant. Now let us move to the next participant. Nilikesh Lahakar, Bikram Barwa, Rahul Agrawal, and Ritvik Phukar.
Yeah, we are present.
Are you all there?
Yes, we are present.
Yes, we are here.
Please switch on your cameras. Please present your case study.
Yeah. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can.
Great. Bikram, can you please start?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
The presentation, yeah, okay. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. This is Team Arjun to present our solution and insights for EcoBuzz. We would like to first thank Pratham and the Economists Club of Bhopal School of Social Science to provide us with this opportunity. My name is Bikram Barwa, along with my teammates Nilikesh Lahakar, Rahul Agarwal, and Ritvik Phukar, are here to present our solutions to the problem of rural education in India. So first of all, a brief about ASER or SR report, which stands for Annual Status of Economic Report, a survey conducted by Pratham. So this survey aims to assess the quality of rural education in India and identify the gaps that are in the rural education. Since 2005, this report has been annually produced by Pratham and is a major report that is being taken by the stakeholders and also the economists in the country. We believe this report is quite important to know the reality of the rural education in India, and we as a team are also taking this report into account and giving the solutions to the problems stated. So I would like Nilikesh to start the presentation. Nilikesh.
Hello. Rahul, please go to the next slide. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, yes, Nilikesh.
Rahul, please go to the next slide.
This is the next slide, right?
Go to the next. Okay, yeah. Go to the third slide. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so in the following slides, the areas of improvements, stagnation, and degradation has been shown in graphical form. So, Rahul, can you please move to the next slide? No, the one before that. Yeah, the one before that. The third slide.
Yeah, I'm already on the third slide.
I think this is the fourth slide.
No, this is the same. This is the first.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the Okay, so in the
Hello.
first plot, we can see the in the first plot we can see the enrollment level of students of age 6 to 14 has increased from 97.2% in 2018 to 98.4% in 2022. In that also, government school enrollment has increased and that of private school has decreased. Percentage enrollment of both boys and girls has increased, and enrollment in Anganwadi school has increased from 2018 to 2022. Improvement of school facility has also been seen based on many factors, as seen in the fourth graph, in the lower right corner. So the improvement of school facility has been seen based on many factors like usable toilets, drinking water, computer facility. And when it comes to computer facility, there has been a very good percentage increase, which shows that technology involvement has been really good in the recent years. So please go to the next slide. Now, coming to the learning ability of students, we can see that percentage of students in grade 8 who can perform basic division has remained relatively stagnant. While for all other students, like from grade 3 to grade 9, there has been a decline in the learning ability. Learning ability here includes the reading ability and the arithmetic, basic division and subtraction doing abilities. Now, in the graph, in the lower graph, second graph, we can say that except for a very few states like Mizoram, Tamil Nadu, and Punjab, where sharp increase was noticed, for other states like learning level, like in those three states only, there was a sharp increase noticed, and for all other states, the learning level remained relatively the same. Now, coming to the last slide, please go to the next slide. Now, in this slide, we have shown the area of degradation. Like the percentage of students who go for extra tuition classes has increased by 4.2 percentage points all over India. We can also see that same data for different states in the first graph. And now this has been considered as a degradation because it can be resonated with less dependence on school education, less trust on school education. And in the next last graph, we can also see the percentage of children in grade 3 whose reading and simple arithmetic ability has been shown to decrease from 2018 to 2022. Now, to tackle this situation, we have provided several measures. The first one is enhancing teacher training, introducing modern teaching modules, personalized guidance, because in tuition classes everyone gets personalized guidance. That's why they go for tuition classes. So we need to provide personalized guidance in schools only. After school doubt clearing classes, after school support, this can ensure that students who are weak in some areas, they can get their doubts cleared in the school only. And to enhance the reading ability and enhance the arithmetic skills, what we can do is introduce phonics methods, where we can introduce several games, puzzles, and extra storybooks, so that the learning process becomes more engaging and fun. The next part, based on this observation, the next solution will be described by Ritvik. Thank you.
Yeah, yes. Okay, yeah. These are just some of the suggestions that were given for the lack of progress. We can address it by like assigning books outside of curriculum to improve reading, introducing class library systems. Yes. Rahul, the next slide, please. Yeah, okay. The ACER report showed that there is a difference in ability of students to learn even within the same grade. To tackle this issue, like we can bring students to students to the same page, we are suggesting some potential solutions. I will go through the solutions one by one. Rahul, the next, please. Okay. It is proposed to conduct a standardized test on a state level to evaluate the learning ability of students from the elementary level. This test would establish a common benchmark for assessing students' performances across different schools. Teachers will play a crucial role in improving students' performances. They will provide personalized learning plans and targeted support to the students. Awards can be given to the winners based on the regions to encourage and motivate students. It would help in building a stronger portfolio of achievements for the students and schools, and thereby enhancing reputations, and promoting the overall development of the state. Like there are several studies, and some studies like shows that competition can have a positive impact on the student and engagement for it. And introducing healthy competition among students is better for the students, for the overall success of the students. To the next slide. Quality of for the next point we got, the quality of education in rural schools is frequently inferior compared to the urban schools. According to the ACER report, there has been a significant drop in the learning proficiency of students between the ages of 5 and 16 in various states. We can see the percentage of students in class 2 who can read class 2 level text, and also the percentage of students in class 3 who can do subtraction. It has been a decline from the years of 2014 to 2022. In the next graph, you can see from 2018 to 2022, there has been a decline in the ability of students. These are based on the states of Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, and Haryana. Okay, to tackle this, we can provide high quality education in rural areas. This can be achieved by hiring well-trained teachers who are equipped to work in rural environments. In addition, integrating modern technology and technological tools such as computers and educational software can also greatly enhance the quality of education in the rural schools. Okay, the student and parents' engagement is very important. Motivating parents to participate in their children's education and fostering a supportive and optimistic atmosphere through constructive discipline can result in improved academic performances of the students. And interaction with the local community is beneficial in identifying the distinct requirements and obstacles faced by the students. There can be various challenges which are faced by the rural students pertaining to the environment and all. Like collaborating with the local organization and community groups can aid in acquiring resources and support to address these challenges. Okay, I'll like Bikram continue this topic.
Thank you, Ritvik. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so now from the ASER report, we came to know about a very interesting fact. The percentage of books available to the students other than their textbook has been quite slim. Now we understand that textbooks are something that the student engages for the whole academic year, but this joy and habit of reading books is something which the student can evolve when they came up out of these textbooks and have access to other books. So to tackle this, we are suggesting the book sharing and a grading system that students have to undergo in their academic year, where they have to read a minimum of 2 books. And these books can be anything. It can start from Harry Potter or Twinkle and can go up to high-end novels. Now, this will be graded in their curriculum, and the books will be provided with the help of various NGOs. And this can also be enhanced with a book sharing session that we are proposing that should be conducted once every week, where we encourage the peer-to-peer learning process, which is quite essential to develop in early stage, and also give students a choice to know which field or which field of book helps him or makes him interesting and also the subject interesting. So yeah, can we go to the next slide? Okay, so we also believe that the quality of the education still remains to be a major factor for the improvement of rural education in India, and centering this around are the teachers. We have seen rise in private tuitions as reported in the ASER report and also mentioned by Nilesh. So to tackle this, we are suggesting a change in the salary structure of the teachers. We are proposing them that the salary structure be divided into 2 parts. The first is the fixed part and the second is the performance-based bonus. Now, this system is quite available in the corporate world, but to increase the efficiency in the rural education, we believe this type of system is essential, because this will first enhance healthy competition, and second, also the students can get extra attention by the doubt solving problems or doubt solving sessions which can be done after the school. Now this type of system can help enhance both the problem. The first is decline in private tuitions, and second is the teacher gets incentivized more profoundly according to the performance of the children. For the next part, I will request Rahul to continue.
Thank you, Bikram. Am I audible?
Yes, go on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so mindfulness. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is just simply the art of being present in the present moment. You don't evaluate anything. You're not in the past. You're not in the future. You are just in the present moment. And that's what mindfulness is all about, right? So what will be a difference between a student who practices mindfulness and a student who doesn't? So suppose he's in an exam, right? And a difficult question comes and he realizes that he's not able to solve it. Another question comes. So he might stress out. And he might screw up the entire exam. But the difference between the mindfulness student and him, that the student practicing mindfulness, he will take a step back, he will relax, he will take deep breaths, and he will realize that it's not okay to be nervous. He will take a minute or two to relax, and then he will approach the paper with a calm approach. That is the difference between a student practicing mindfulness and one who doesn't. Okay, so our question here was that there is a lot of pressure on students because of the social media, and how they can deal with this stress, provided there was a twist that we have to do it in a very cost feasible manner, right? So for this, we have come up with many approaches. One of the main definitely thing is meditation. Meditation is definitely effective at reducing stress and anxiety around exam time. It has been proven in many studies. Okay, and for this, what we can do is we have many ashrams and all. Suppose we have the art of living. So what they do is they provide a basic happiness schools where they teach you many different techniques to deal with stress. So and they come at a very reasonable cost. So we can organize those programs in our school, both for the children as well as the parents, because it's very good. Second, breathing techniques. Breathing changes your way of emotions. It changes the neurochemical reaction that has been going in your body, and that helps you to deal with stress. One of the techniques that has personally also worked very well for me is a technique by Dr. Andrew Huberman, who is a neuroscientist.
Actually, your time is over, so please let's move to the question answers. I would like to request Judge Mr. Kareem sir to please carry on the interrogation.
Thank you. So it's a very comprehensive presentation. The best part was the charts and graphs that you used to describe the comparison between the two reports. One suggestion that one of the participants made that there should be an increase in the pay structure of teachers. So I would like to tell you that government school teachers are paid more as opposed to private school teachers, and the ratio, the teacher and people ratio is also very less in government schools. So overall, the presentation was very good. The only thing I did not like about, in the presentation is that you guys did use charts, but in some slides you used too many charts. So try to avoid that, because it can be detrimental to your presentation, because the audience sometimes may get confused what to see and what not to see. So keep it very simple. Try to use only one chart in one slide. Okay. Overall, it was very good.
I will definitely keep that in. Thank you, sir. So we will definitely keep that in mind in our next presentations.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now let us move to the next participant, Adwaita Singh and Nikita Idnani. Are you there?
Hello, we're there. Could you just give us a second to share our screen?
Yeah.
Is our screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Just a second. Okay, so my name is Adwaita Singh And
my name is Nikita Danani.
We are Team A plus N. We're from Sanskar Valley School, and we have made a presentation for the EcoBuzz competition.
But before we begin, we would actually like to thank the department ERUDOMICS, and we would also like to thank Pratham Foundation for giving us this opportunity to present our ideas on this case study and the questions that we prepared.
Yeah. So the first thing that we have noted here in our case study is about social media and its impact. So we being in school and also having access to social media, and in the case study we had seen that technology can have a lot of problems associated with it, especially trolling and bullying and hate online. So to protect the students from those things, we can make sure that students in government schools, when they're given access to computers and the internet, the apps and the applications that they're using are limited to only the ones that are important for school. And besides that, we can have a set time for all the students that are supposed to use the internet or the computers. For example, if they use their computers for 30 minutes, then they can come back to the class and give their learnings or learn a new fact or anything that they want to share with the group, their class, some new information. So that would engage all of the students in the classroom and also provide healthy discussion, and students would not just be focused in their computers and they would actually talk to each other.
The inspiration of this idea actually comes from our own school, wherein each of our laptops in the computer lab have a set VPN on that. So we cannot access a lot of pages, like we cannot access YouTube or Instagram or any other social media apps. We can only access a certain set of application or software that would actually be helpful to us, and that actually helps us to focus. And about the time limit also, you can take an example from the iOS time limit feature, where you can set a time limit, but you can also get certain relaxations, like 15 more extra minutes that you can access the app for. Other than that, yeah, of course, internet timings and then VPNs and everything would help, because other than trolling, this also affects the students' mental health, which eventually tampers with their true potential or their focus or academic, sleep cycle and concentration.
And aside from that, schools can promote courses that students can do online. For example, coding or editing online, photography, videography courses, which engage students actually using computer and the internet for good uses instead of just wasting their time. And also, adding on to what Nikita said, if we set time and we set a time limit to the computers, then the students would actually work better and focus on what is important for them to learn, instead of just opening up different sites and scrolling through all of them. So aside from that, we saw one major problem was the enrollment rate in government schools. We have seen that it has been falling since the past few years, especially since 2004 and 2010. But one place where it has actually risen is West Bengal. So that is what we've taken as an example here. We believe that other governments, state governments, can also move in the direction West Bengal has over the years and actually benefit from more enrollment rate in schools. So what West Bengal did is they provided textbooks to their students in government schools, and they made them free of cost so that the students would be encouraged to actually get the books and study. That is one major problem that a lot of students have in states, and that is the issue of money. So if that money issue arises, books can be provided by the school or the government so that they are motivated to study. Aside from that, exercise books can also be very helpful because they provide extra knowledge aside from the course, aside from the syllabus, and they can really help make the students more aware. And another problem that is there is food. Some students don't have food at school. So West Bengal has actually made a rule that they would provide all meals to the students in school, which is also a factor that has made the enrollment rate rise to 92.2%. And lastly, something that West Bengal has done, which I think most states can learn about, is that they're providing a few scholarships to students who are in need so that they get a full ride to school and actually move on to long-term better plan and have a career in the future, which will overall help the state as well. So in this slide, we can see the date this is the number of this is the rate of girls in school over the years. So it says it starts in 2006 where the rate is comparatively high, but moving on to 2022 it becomes quite low. So that is the main reason for that is because the rural places in India usually don't have a lot of girls going to school, and the reason for that is because girls are told to stay at home and help with the household or get jobs that can help them get money in the current short term. But what can be done is that girls can be given the choice to choose if they want to have a career or if they want to support their family right now. So what we thought about, the solutions we thought of for girls in school was, firstly, we can talk to families of these girls, and there can be sessions and basically like counseling sessions where parents of these girls are talked to and they get the understanding of why school life or a long-term career is important and why girls should be in school. Because long-term it would help them get a better salary and better wages than they can without going to school.
We also think that if you want to include more girls in school and the Indian educational system, especially in the rural areas, there are a few other things like the solutions that we provide here are the solutions on the front of the girls and the girls' family. But the changes that we can make to a school is to make it more menstruator friendly, is to add girls' washrooms in a lot of schools. It would actually fascinate you to hear that in multiple schools, even in the 21st century, there are no female washrooms, and this is why girls cannot be there. These schools are not menstruator friendly. Menstruators of any gender, girls or boys, cannot accommodate themselves in such school. We need to educate our school. We need to educate the school faculty as well as the girls and their families. And after that, we also have to include more female workers in the faculty of a school so that the girls feel more comfortable in the school.
And we also think that interests are very important. Our school promotes our interests and hobbies a lot, and they tell us to learn new skills and get new hobbies every summer and every break we get. So that is something we consider really important and close to our heart. So government schools should also encourage girls to have hobbies that they like, and they can consult them and ask them what they would like to have in their school as options. We have given here examples like painting and sewing, but it can be anything. It can be coding, it can be photography, it can be cooking, it can be up to them. So I think it is very important that schools actually go to the students and ask them what they want. And lastly, we think that girls should also be taught about why it's important to study at school. The schools can get in people who have passed out from the school and are doing very well, so the girls can see that the school life actually helped them and school was very helpful to them. So aside from that, measures that can be used to test the knowledge of students, we have written here two methods. The first method is, aside from arithmetic tests and other subject tests, there can be aptitude tests as well. Aptitude tests can really help understand what the student actually is like in multiple fields, just not maths or English, for example. And lastly, we feel that it's very important that each student is given the recognition by their background, knowledge, also being aware, their culture or where they come from or how their house situation is, because that really affects how students learn and what their capabilities are.
Other than that, we should also hold, other than aptitude tests, we should also have psychometric tests for each and every student so that we can learn their special, a lot of students are very confused about what they want to do in their future. So this would be their answer to that. We can tell them the skills that they hold and the career which would help the skills that they hold. Other than that, we can also understand, exactly as Advita said, we can also understand that what kind of a background that they come from, which will help us understand what capabilities they have and what kind of a thinking pattern that they follow.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So the suggestion to prevent children from accessing unnecessary data was quite fascinating. You did highlight a very important issue of girls' toilet not being available in schools, and that prevents girls from attending schools regularly. That was also a very good point. But the thing which your presentation lacks is the learning levels. you don't have, I mean, you haven't picked up any presentation or any slide on learning levels. You haven't compared the learning levels data of the two reports. And that was one thing which was missing. Uh, the presentation was more focused on girls, I guess. Whereas there were other indicators that could have also been covered, which I thought that you should have covered in the presentation. Uh, the concluding thought was good, but it had to be in terms of learning levels and school facilities. That was also missing. Overall, the articulation was good, but the basic theme was missing. Because see, the ESSER reports always throw light on learning levels and the pattern of enrollments and school facilities. You did cover enrollment pattern, but only in terms of girls. But you missed out the learning levels and the school facilities part.
So we'll surely keep that in mind next time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable remarks, and thanks to the team A+N for presenting. Now we will move to the next participant, next team of Palash Maurya, Nishant Pillai, and Mayank Pradhan. Are you present?
Yes, ma'am, we are there. Okay. We have started our screen sharing. Do it's visible?
Have you started? We are starting.
Yeah, start.
The screen is not visible.
Yeah, ma'am. Just a minute. Is it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Well said by Nelson Mandela. So, a very warm good afternoon to all of you. My name is Nishan with my friend Palash here, presenting our team Invincibles. So, it is very important to address the challenges which we are facing today. Most probably for rural education. As we all know that 64% of total population of our country resides in rural region. Therefore, it's important to address the rural education problems here. So here in our deck, we have included all the ESSER report, about the learning curve, and also about how can we expand digital infrastructure in order to achieve more level of efficiency in education. So there are many indicators which were included in the ESSER report, but we have taken few, such as enrollment in government schools, attendance, learning outcome, gender parity, and tuition. So this was the basic comparative analysis which we made instead of putting whole theoretical stuff in it. The government school enrollment of 2018, which was about 96.7%. And in 2022, you can see it is about 98.2%. But basically, in our finding, I found that the increment, even though there is an increment which we can see, which we can see in the increment which we can see, but still I consider it to be stagnant. The reason which I will share you with later. The next is about tuition, which you can see that it was about 20.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Slides are not visible.
Is it?
Yeah, right now they are.
Okay. Okay, we will continue like this.
Please make full screen, if possible.
Is it now visible?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. So this was about tuition, which even the tuition which additional students are taking courses for preparing themselves. So in that too, that we can see an increment. So basically, in many states, tuition were the main reason why the learning curve was also better in comparison to other states. If we talk about attendance, yes, we can see there is a slight decrease in the stats. Reading level of class grade, which we have taken, there is also, you can see a decline in it. And when we talk about gender parity, there is a decrease in the ratio between girls and boys in year 2022. So when we talk about enrollment in school ratio, as I was mentioning earlier, that even if you can see that from 96.7% it went to 98.2%, what I feel, and if Sir agrees it, Pratham Foundation conducted the event, conducted the report during 2022 pandemic region, and at that time the economic level of our country was, bit not that much better, not at a perfect condition. Due to this, many people shifted from being private schools to government schools. Therefore, we can see an increment in enrollment in government schools. You can see the reading level. There is also an increment in reading level as well. Decrease in reading level as well, which is which we need to focus on. While attendance also, I think it can be due to pandemic effect that the attendance was also slightly low. And tuition, tuition is play a very important role in affecting the learning curve too. So we can focus that there was an increase of 26.4% to 30.5% from 2018 to 2022. Now, these were the few recommendations which we personally feel that should be included, like improving the quality and standard of education in government schools by providing better training to teachers. This will also help in increasing the enrollment ratio and even attendance, that the students will more feel connected to go and get proper better facilities of education as well. Providing digital assets to rural communities so they can scale up and stay connected with other regions. It is another one of the major point which we need to look up to. Initiating more programs such as Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, right to education. These all things have majorly contributed in finding out more education, spreading more education, increasing literacy rate. Then one of the key point which we have included is setting up of decentralized agencies.
Sorry, Palash.
Yeah.
Can you scroll down to the next slides, because you are stuck on the fourth slide, and we are not being able to see the other slides.
Is it visible now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, let me see. Just a second. Now.
I think you should stop sharing and share it once again.
Okay, just a second. Why is it not? Is it visible now?
Yes.
Okay.
If you allow, instead of sharing it, can we do it, in this way, instead of coming in a full big screen?
Okay, you can.
Because it's wasting lots of our time. Now I would like to invite Palash to continue with few other slides.
So now our next topic is addressing the issue of learning dissimilarities within a single grade is crucial for enhancing the quality of education in a state. Here are some measures that can be taken to bring the student on the same page, like learning circle. Form small group of a student based on their learning level and create a learning circle where the student can interact with each other and share their knowledge, which can ultimately lead to their peer learning. Second one is formative assessment. Conduct regular formative assessment to determine the learning gaps of each student. This will help the teacher to tailor their teaching to the needs of each student. Now, the third one is remedial teaching. Providing additional support to a student who are struggling with their learning, it can help to bridge the learning gap. Fourth one is differentiated instruction. Adopt a differentiated instruction strategy where the teachers differentiated their teaching method based on the learning level of each student. This will ensure that all the students are engaged in the learning process and are learning at their own pace. Now, the last one is technological enabled learning. Use a technology to enhance the learning experience of a student. The resources under this method are online tutorials, videos, educational apps that can help the student to learn and bridge the learning gap. Now I would like to call Nishan to end this topic.
Thank you, Palash. So the next is about mindful education. So basically, what is mindful education? It is basically a holistic approach that teaches students to how to manage their thoughts, their emotions and behavior effectively. So mindful education is very much important in our day-to-day life, even because we see most of the people are educated, but they are not able to incorporate how they can function in day-to-day activities, whether it's about basic mathematical skills while calculating discounts and finding out various ways out. So to create mindful education, we need to focus on few points, like creating a mindful corner or room in a class. For example, if we are having an institution, if we create a particular room or some kind of departments, it can help students to bring out their practical approach, help them to create a practice area of practical learning. Then use of digital tools can also help in bringing out same. Conducting mindful workshops, which help a lot. You can call a few experts who will help you out how you can approach to the day-to-day activities. Then partnering with community organization is yet another important thing. And providing training to teacher, which one of our colleague also has explained. This is the same point which we have also included in ours. Then pros and cons of social media, which we have also included as we were talking about social media. So we should also know what are its advantages as well as its disadvantages. For example, access to educational resources, online collaboration, improved communication, increased engagement are its advantages. While if we talk about disadvantages, there are spread of misinformation, which is very much prevalent in our era. Cyberbullying, addiction, limited internet connectivity has few disadvantages, major disadvantages which are there in our society. Then we have importance of digital infrastructure for rural education, which is very much vital, which is very much important if we want to expand our level of education. So strengthening education in rural areas through technology will provide specialized training to youth, create entrepreneurs for tomorrow with a good decision skills, and most importantly, it will ultimately lead to sustainable livelihood and discover the passionate hidden gems from these communities. Then how can we expand our digital infrastructure? Spread awareness on use of digital education. Many people still believe that digital education is not a way, or it is very much complex, but there is a need that we should spread awareness about digital education. There is a need that we should collaborate with many telecom companies and mobile companies, because we cannot impart all the tasks to government, but we should also bring private players in it. Subsidized digital product to be made available, which is yet another important feature which we should impart. Then comes collaboration with NGOs. There are many NGOs which are working, but they require support, which we should provide them. Restricting communication barrier by providing online content, even in regional language. This is the major point which we are talking about and focusing on, because in many regions we can find the content are only available in either in English or in any other major language like Hindi. But in many regions, we need to try to provide them even in the regional languages. So this was about us. I would like to thank, and so I'm sorry because of the problems we faced while we were sharing. Thank you.
Thanks to the team. Now we would like Kaleen sir to please ask questions.
Thank you, Nishant and Palash. I think your presentation comes very close to our expectation. The representation of the ASER comparison is brilliant. You did cover some rural education problem in your slides, which was very commendable. You gave a very good reason for the shift that we have witnessed in the last couple of years. Children moving from private schools to government schools. I mean, the reason that you gave, it was mainly due to pandemic. There was economic instability across the communities in India. I mean, the reason was very valid. I mean, that reason was mentioned by our CEO when she was sharing the ASER report nationally. One more reason, I mean, tuition classes have gone up in the recent years, mainly due to pandemic, because children were barred from coming to schools. So the only option they had was tuition. So that was one of the reasons why there was a huge rise in tuitions over the years, and it has also contributed to the improvement in the learning levels. Uh, One of the suggestions that you made, that in order to improve the learning levels of children, we need to focus on training of teachers. That is absolutely right. Pratham over the years has focused on teachers training. It has collaborated with the state government for conducting the teacher training programs. But unfortunately, in the last 3 to 4 years, we have not been able to do so. But we think that in the near future, again, we will have a collaboration with the state government, and we will resume our training programs with the government school teachers. One more thing that you mentioned is the conduct of assessments regularly. I mean, that is absolutely right. Pratham has a unit that conduct assessment is ASAR. So ASAR focuses on conducting assessments, and that is what we also try to integrate into our programs, into existing programs. We focus on conducting regular assessments. You really mentioned that in your presentation. Again, use of technology, use of current digital infrastructure. How can we leverage our current digital infrastructure to good effect? Because we do have people who own smartphones even in rural areas, so that can also be used to good effect. I have one question for you. The question is that who do you think is the strongest link in the community as far as the education of primary grade children is concerned?
Sir, if you don't mind, can you please repeat once again?
I'm saying that who do you think is the strongest link in the community? It can be a person, or it can be a children's relative, or sibling, mother, who can be a very vital actor, or a link in improving in accelerating the children's learning level. Who do you think?
I think, sir, in a community, I believe parents, because parents play a very vital role in shaping of our values and ideology. If we are able to convince our parents about something, for example, there is a need to increase education, how can we improve our education? So if we are able to convince them, then we are sure that we can see a modernized India very soon.
I think again you hit the bullseye, because among parents, we are targeting mothers for our new intervention, because we think that mother spends most of the time with children. So she can be a very useful resource to transform the education across India when it comes to primary education. So very well done.
Thank you,
I'm really glad that the two of you have come very close to our expectations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks to Palash and Nishan for their fantabulous presentation. Now we move to our next participant, Shambhav Trivedi. Are you present here?
Yeah, I'm present. Give me a second. Do let me know when you see my screen.
Yes, your screen is visible.
Okay, fine. So basically, I, Shambhav Chaturvedi, a student of Ramjas College, University of Delhi, gives his warm greeting to the respected panel of judges, the faculties, and all other participants. I would also like to express my gratitude towards the organizers of EcoBuzz case study competition for giving me this wonderful opportunity on this stage. So without further ado, I will start with my presentation. The case problem asked us to discuss on 3 questions. Following are they: First method to bring students on same level, mindful practices to combat stress level due to social media, and at last the comparison between year 2018 and 2022 digital education social media. Right now, for tackling first two questions, that is methods to bring students on same level and mindful practices to combat stress level due to social media, I'll be taking this problem. I'll be tackling this problem by answering four basic questions. That is, what is the problem? Why this problem needs to be solved, and how to solve this problem. That are the techniques that we were asked to discuss. And last, what would be the positive impact if we implement these strategies? And for the last question, we'll be doing a comprehensive analysis. But before I would like to tell the source of all this data. I myself is a student from a government school, and while I was in Delhi University, I got a chance to meet students from various states, like Arunachal Pradesh, and I also got their perspective towards this issue. I discussed with them, and they also helped me a lot. So I would like to acknowledge them also for that regard. First question was method to bring students on same level. So this was the answer to what is the problem. That is bringing the student on the same level. Why this problem needs to be solved. God has made everyone in a different way, and no two students are same. There was a movie that was released in, if I'm not wrong, 2008, named Paris Amoeba, which also highlighted this. Now, what the issue is that bringing two students, if two students are not on same level, there is a chances that one student may develop inferiority complex in himself and lose confidence, and later there are chances that he is not able to be a very confident individual and serve to the society and the nation. What are the techniques that can be employed? So the first one is individual attention. Teachers can provide individualized instruction to the student based on their specific learning needs. This can involve identifying areas where students need extra support and providing target intervention to help them catch up. So basically, this helps. The teacher is the first person that is a person who knows the students very well, and she or he can go one-to-one on the towards the student and help him with his or her studies. Next one is collaborative learning. So in this technique, what we'll do is we'll make group of 2 or 3 students and give them a project, and they will also learn the spirit of esprit de corps, that means team spirit, while this. So this would again lead to the holistic development. The next one is use of technology. So technology has played a very, very important role in the last decade, especially after the COVID period. So technology can be an effective tool for providing individualized instruction and helping students of different abilities learn at their own pace. Now, this technique was employed by Byju's also, but Byju's is a quite expensive platform. But there are various other platforms also which provide it at a compatible rate. And if the government does a contravention and do tie up with the associations, they could be getting it at a reasonable rate. Next one is mental exercises. Various methods like yoga and meditation can be used to increase the learning capacity of children. So I have at last given a link to a report and article by the English newspaper Guardian that highlights and states the report done by research at Oxford College, and that says the yoga and meditation helps to increase the mental capacity of a student. So these were the techniques. Now what would happen if we employ these results? So expected result when we implement these strategies. So implementing these practices can help to enhance the qualitative indices of the state by improving the overall quality of education. By ensuring all the students have access to high quality instructions, the state can help to reduce disparities in educational outcomes and improve the overall educational attainment of its citizens. The next problem was mindful practices to combat stress level due to social media. This was the problem. Why this problem needs to be solved? So I will take a help of this movie. I think you have watched this. I'm assuming that you have watched this movie, The Social Dilemma, that was released on Netflix in year 2020, which talked about the negative impact of social media on children. Say it is body shaming, terrorism, and all that stuff. If you look at this individual, the boy in the screen, he was at last forced to join that Capitol Hill violences. He was indulged in that Capitol Hill violence, and that can be the negative impact of our social media. So what are the techniques that needed to be employed in order to curb this problem? First is train teachers. Teachers can play a crucial role in promoting mindful practices among children, among students. Providing them with training in mindful practices can help them to understand the benefit of mindfulness and how to incorporate it in their teaching. Next one is meditation. So meditation, as you know, as I already highlighted, it increases the capacity of the student, right? So if it is also a very cheap way to help the student to uh, help to curb this problem. The next one is use of online resources for co-curricular activities. A student will use social media for his time pass. So what I'll suggest the student or the authorities that would be, we can use the online resources. For example, there are n number of YouTube channels and platforms that gives free lessons on dance, music, and all that stuff that would help to in that would help into the development of the student and lead to their holistic development. Next is social rehabilitation centers. So there are basically, this concept is very popular in the metro cities. So if possible, the local school can collaborate with the local organization that would help to curb the social media problems. What are the expected results when we implement these strategies? By incorporating these strategies, mindful practices can be integrated into education institution in a way that is feasible, scalable, and cost-effective, while still promoting student well-being and reducing stress level associated with social media overload. Now, the last problem was comparison between 2018 and 2022. So overall enrollment, if you look at this, is in 2018 it was 97.2%. In 2022 it is 98.4%. The trend is positive. Enrollment in government school 65.6% to 2029. It is also a positive trend. So if we look we try to figure out the reasons for this was the access to the previous participants also mentioned this reason, the economical condition prevailing in the economy. So that forced increasement in the overall enrollment in the government school. Girl not enrolled in school has reduced 4.1% to 2%. Again, this is a positive trend. Children studying in 1 to 8 taking private tuitions is increased to 26.4% to 30.5%. Main reason that I can figure out was the accessibility of children to the online platforms. The students were having the access towards the online platforms like Viswala that provided students with cheap study material and resources. So now we'll go through the learning capacity of students. Children standard 3, private school able to read at standard 2 has reduced from 27.3% to 20.5%. The main reason could be figured out that the lack of individual, lack of the environment that was given to a student while his learning. So this is a negative trend. So next is fraction of school with usable girls toilet has increased to 66.4 to 68.4%. This is the infrastructural development that you talked about, sir. And the earlier participants also talked about the menstrual toilets, and I think this the government has worked with this regard. School with drinking water availability has increased to 74.8% to 76%. This is again a positive trend. I would like to show you the references that I have taken. These are the references: the TIES, the Hindu, KPMG, the Guardian, etc. So I would like to conclude my presentation by stating renowned philosopher Sadhguru, who once said, "Only in bringing quality education to rural scale, the true strength of India would be unfolded." It is very important for government to address the shortcomings highlighted by report. The private players have a significant role to play by implementing the CSR. I myself is a student who is benefited from CSR, and I'm also getting a scholarship to study in Delhi University. At last, I would like to say that in 2022, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi gave the concept of Amrit, right? And if till 2047 we want to develop and हमें मतलब अगर अमृत का असली पान करना है तो हमें ये जरूरी है कि हम इस दिशा में काम करें. आशा करता हूँ आपको समझ में आया होगा.
Thank you, Shambhav Chaturvedi, for your remarkable presentation. I would like to call Mr. Karim sir to ask him questions.
I think you are in a better position to comment on his presentation because there wasn't a substantial amount of content as far as Asar is concerned. He presented the other themes very well. So, I mean, it's better if you judge him on his presentation.
Yes, surely. That was the last presentation. Now we will move to the vote of thanks. Wishing everyone a lovely afternoon. It's my honor to propose a vote of thanks on the behalf of ERUDOMICS, the Department of Economics, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. We extend our most sincere thanks to the Almighty God. A huge debt of gratitude is due to our principal, Father John PJ, who served as the impetus for us to give our all and who gave us the chance to be ready for this event. A heartfelt thanks to our respected judge, Mr. Karim sir, for his enduring presence and making this event a grand success. For always being there for us, our esteemed Vice Principal, Sister Sonia, has made deepest thanks. Sincere appreciation goes to Dr. Jyoti Mathur ma'am, the head of the Economics Department of Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Furthermore, my appreciation goes to our events organizers. I would also like to extend my thanks to all the participants for their enormous cooperation and presenting such great presentations. Thanks a lot. Before moving...
Thank you for having me. Are we done with the presentation and the entire session?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so thank you for having me. It's very good to see that young students have such a very beautiful outlook on different aspects of life, be it education or be it or any other dimension of life. So thank you.
A gentle reminder to all the participants, please do not forget to fill the feedback form.
Thanks a lot to every participant and all those who are here with us. And thanks especially to Pratham and Kalim sir. That was all from our side. We'll call it a day.
Thanks a lot.